Hey, good morning, everyone. Glad you could be here for Tuesday morning Trade with Paul. Just a quick couple things before we get going. Our goal is to, as always, is to help you be the best version of yourself and to close that gap between who you are and who you're capable of being. And we do that through currency trading. We step through theory, practice, and mastery, and it starts today. It starts now. In the lesson, I'm going to just use the two basic trade techniques that we show during the introduction. These will be trades that I will, if we do find a trade, it'll be a trade that I take in my live account. So you can be confident that it is a good trade. So let's get to it. I always like to start with a trade routine. So let us take a look at a review of yesterday's trade. We didn't do a trade last week as I was traveling, so there's nothing to review there. When I do start, I like to confirm that my charts are connected to the internet, which I see that by this being green up in the top left-hand corner of my green chart, and that my charts are current by this little box down here. And then before we start any activity, we like to take a look at green chart, or excuse me, at Forex Factory to see what is in the news, because we are technical traders, and as technical traders we want to stay away from items that may have a potential impact on the currency pair we're trading. And as I scroll through the news, I look specifically for items that are red, because items that have a red folder suggest that they could impact the market. And today, all I see is something that happened this morning at 5 a.m. in our time in Europe. So the effect of this is probably already we're at 6:30, so this is already passed. And tonight, Australia is announcing wage price index. So anything that we're going to trade, I would expect to be closed by this time, so we don't need to really worry about it. So with that, let's go and start. Let's start our analysis. I'm going to start with our simplest trade first, the thick orange line trade, and it's still a little early to take it. We want to take the thick orange line trade right before the top of the hour, and right now we are 25 minutes before the top of the hour. But let's see what's set up here, and then if we so we'll know what's the perspective available. So with the thick orange line trade, there's two criteria that I am going to take a look at. Number one is I look at the scale number that's associated with the thick orange line, which is this number here, the number 41. I am looking for this number to be either 0 or minus 100 or within 10 points of either end. What that's telling me when this is at 0 or minus 100 is that based on the thick orange line, we believe there's no more up in the movement. If it's at 0 and if it's at minus 100, we believe there's no more down in the movement. So step one is to see that see if we see a 0 or minus 100 or within 10 points of either end. So minus 41 is not within 10 points of 0 or 100. Minus 7, yes, that is within 10 points of 0 or 100. So if I have this condition, condition 1, I want something that helps me increase the prospective accuracy of the trade. And what that is I'm going to look to another one of the indicators to see if it supports what I'm seeing here. So -7, I'm going to go to the majors and minors, and when this is on the zero end, I want to see all four lines on the majors and minors above the blue line. The blue line is the overbought line. So when the lines are up here, that's the beginning of a sell signal. So this is telling me sell. This is telling me sell. So we have a prospective trade here on the Great Britain pound, US dollar for a sell, and we've taken all the analysis out of this trade. So all you have to worry about is if I see the signal, go ahead and take the trade, and it's always worth 5 pips on a 60-minute chart. So we will have this one ready to go when the time is right. -24 is a no, -31 is a no, -70 is a no, -71 is 73 is a no. So we don't have anything else besides the Great Britain pound USD. We're going to go ahead and take this. Let us see if we see a 10-point trade anywhere. So I'm going to use another signal now. This signal is a little more complicated or complex than the thick orange line signal, because I need to do some additional analysis to figure out what the trade is worth. So on the 10-point trade, I'm going to start, rather than starting with the TNTs and looking at the thick orange line number, I'm going to start with the majors and minors. And I am going to look for a scenario where the lines are below the oversold or above the overbought. So here I'm in the channel on the Euro USD, so that's a no. On the pound dollar, I am above the overbought line, but I want the lines pointed down and double crossed. I don't have that. Australian US dollar, I've got the lines below the overbought, oversold. They're pointing up, and they're double crossed down here. Now the minors have kind of almost already shot all the way through the channel. The majors are just entering the channel, and they haven't quite got halfway. So this is okay to me. Let's take a look at, so I've got 3 points here. 1, they're below. 2, they're pointing up. And 3, they're double crossed. So let's take a look at the TNT. The 2 orange lines, the thick orange and the thin orange, are pointing up. So what I'm looking for is, I'm looking for the direction now in these lines to see that they're consistent with what I'm seeing down in the majors and minors. So the 2 orange lines are going up, so that's consistent. The blue lines are inversely related, so when blue is going down, that means up. I've got the 2 blue lines going down. So I've got 4 points here. The 2 points for the 2 oranges and 2 points for the 2 blues. I'm not paying attention to the minus orange line number here, or the thick orange line number here. Just looking for the direction. So I've got 4 points here. So then I'm going to go down to my pressure, and I want to have some support. I want to have at least 1 point from my pressure. Right now the pressure is going down, and it's actually kind of going sideways here, but I have the green line on top. So with the green line on top, that counts for 1 point. So I've got 3 points, 4 points, 1 point. I've got 8 of the 10. If I have more than 7, this is a good trade. So now I have a good trade, but I need a little bit more information to decide on how many pips this trade is worth. So, if we go back to our trade routine, I want to do a little bit of technical analysis. So I want to find the trend. I want to find the support and resistance. I want to see what channel it's in. I'm not going to do Fibonacci price retracement because we haven't taught you that. So we'll just keep it to what we know how to do. So to do that, I'm going to open up a full chart of AUDUSD. So click File, Open Chart, AUDUSD, and here is the chart. Open it up. And let's take a look. We're missing. Nope. All right, this is what I want. Oh, hold on. There we go. So I want to know how the price has been moving. And I want to add a little support and resistance to what we have here. So let's clean this up a little bit. Let's see. All right, that gives us a little idea of where we're at. So we are sitting right on a support line. And we have, let's see, so over the last 5 days, we've got a very slight downtrend. Very slight downtrend. And let's get this so we can see it a little better. A very slight downtrend. It actually broke out of the channel a little bit here. And let's see how much room we have on the upside. So I've got about 18 pips till I hit the next support and resistance level. So that is good. Let's see. Let's go down. Let's take a look at the charts. So here was the initial signal that we saw on the 60-minute chart. Everybody's going up and entering into the channel. The two oranges are going up. The two blues are going down. I got green on top, and it's starting to turn up. If I look to the 120, I got the double cross, and they're below the channel, below the oversold line, and they've turned up. I've got an up, a down. So I'm going to get 2 of the 4 here on the 240. I've got the pressure starting to turn with it diverging. The lines are separating. Here again on the 240, they're pointed up, double crossed, up, up, down. I got 3 of the 4. I got green on top, diverging. On the lower charts, I am oversold. Hasn't started to turn up yet. 15 overbought. I've got up pressure, and on the 30, I've got the pressure starting to turn up. I'm overbought also. So based on this signal, I am happy with the buy, and I am happy with the 10 pip buy. So let's go ahead and take a 10 pip buy. We got plenty of room up. We are trading in a downtrend, but we're at the kind of the lower end of the trend. So I don't mind taking a 10 pip trade up as we've got 20 pips to that next support line. So let's open our CoinEx. I want to see if I have Australian USD chart open, and I do. So I pull it up. I go, I'm going to do my new order in 2 steps. Step number 1 is the buy or sell. I am going to change my lot volume. I am going to look at what I have in my account, which is, this is a demo account. It's got $8,400 in it. So I am going to move the decimal spot over 4 spots. So what I mean by that is, here's the decimal. And if I move it over 4 spots, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm going to take a lot size of 0.8. So 0.8, and I am going to buy. Records it here, and then I can see my trade right under the chart. Records the order number, the time, the what we did buy, size, pair, price, and I need to enter in the stop loss and take profit. So I right click along the blue line, anywhere along that blue line. I go to modify, and it brings up this window. And if I want 10 pips, I type 10 in here. And because this is scaled in points, I have to add an extra 0. I click the blue button and it does the math for me. So I can also just look at this number here, the 0.6686. A pip is the number that's second from the far right. So it's this 6. So if I had 10 to this 86, I'm going to go to 96. 96.5. 96.5. And then for now, well, let's take a look and see what we might do for support and resistance real quick. Normally I suggest we go, as a new trader, we're going to just go 4 times whatever our take profit is. So if I'm going for 100 points, I'm going to go put a stop loss of 400 points. I click this red copy as button, it puts the number in there, and I'm going to put it on there. I'm going to scrunch this up so I can see that everything is showing. And now let me just go back and look at the green chart. I would probably, since we're in this channel, I usually put my support and resistance to support lines. All right, I put my stop loss to support lines outside. So that would be somewhere down around here. So 66.49. Let's see what we ended up doing with the 400 points. Well, let's see. We're at 66.86. 66.49 is actually about 40 pips. We're very close to 40 pips. So that'll work in this case. As we're approaching the top of the hour, let us go back and take a look at, see if we still have our signal on the Great Britain pound US dollar. -7. So that's condition 1 on the thick orange line trade. All the lines are above. That's condition 2. I'm going to go ahead and take a 5 pip sell here. So let us open up green charts. We're under 10 minutes. So Great Britain pound USD, here's this chart. New order. I'm going to use the same lot size. And notice here, my margin is 3,000. When I take this next cell, it's going to bring it right down to about 1,000. So I'm not going to want to have more than 2 open trades going. So sell by market. So the new order is recorded down here. I'm going to click anywhere along that new order to highlight it. Go to modify. We're going to change this back to 50 for 5 pips. 50 points is 5 pips. I'm going to confirm the math. That's 30, 36. So I'm going to go to 30, 31. 30, 31, 1, 5. 30, 31, 5. And this can be 20 pips 4 times. Modify, it drops both in. And if I want to watch both trades, I can pop them up like this by clicking this guy right here. So it's showing me both trades. And we will wait and see. So we took 2 trades this morning. One was using the 10-point signal, which was a buy on Australian US dollar, and for 10 pips. And then we took a 5 pip sell on the Great Britain pound US dollar. Any questions? All right, no questions. Thanks for joining me, and have a good trading day, and we'll see you next week. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.